Hi beauties, welcome back to my channel. Sorry it's been quite a while. I think it's been about a month, maybe 2 weeks since I did a live stream. But I wanted to take this time to come on and update you guys on our court process because those of you guys that do follow, I did mention that on the 7th of December we were going to be finding out some information on Kevin's court case in the Supreme Court. So I actually didn't, it usually takes about 24 hours once they make a decision to update it to like the website and the Washington Court's website, and then also the court clerk's office. So it's a really nerve-wracking process, like waiting that additional 24 hours. And then, you know, we don't know that following day when it's going to come out. So pretty much, let's see, Thursday they made the decision. Friday, actually had a final that I had to do, so I waited until after the final. It was about noon, and I called, and they still didn't have an answer. And so I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to call like every hour, so I'll wait, you know, maybe 2 or 3 hours, and then I'll call back. But before I called back, it was like 3-ish, I want to say, I checked my email, and I had an email from our lawyer. So, I mean, that's kind of crazy. Usually I find out before the lawyer does. So I got this email from the lawyer, and it pretty much said, I think it said they accepted the review. So when I was like telling a lot of my friends this, like they immediately thought that that was like what we wanted. That was like the best case scenario, but that's actually not what we wanted. So the state was the one that filed the review to the Supreme Court. So the state was asking the Supreme Court to review the appellate court's decision on resentencing Kevin. So when they said they accepted the review, it meant that they were going along with the state prosecutor and they were agreeing to do this review. And we kind of expected that that's what was going to happen just because it's such a big case and it's going to affect so many people. We figured that the Supreme Court was probably just like wanting to play it safe, I guess you could say, and by doing that review. So they decided to do that. They decided to, okay, sorry, it takes like, it's kind of confusing, like when you word it certain ways. So I'm going to word it in parts. So accepted the review. The next part of this is, so they'll be reviewing the appellate court's decision. So they could could come to a decision like within 2 weeks, a month, 6 weeks or so, based off of those briefs. But they also scheduled an oral argument. And an oral argument is what we actually had when Kevin got his sentence overturned. But instead of in the appellate court, it's going to be in the Supreme Court, which is pretty major. I'm not going to lie, it's pretty major. It's where it's going to be March 20th. So we have about 3 months until that happens, but it's open to the public. So I'm going to go and watch it. But it's pretty much where you're in front of all 9 Supreme Court justices. Our lawyer has 20 minutes to give his argument to why that decision should stand, that Kevin be resentenced. And then the prosecutor has 20 minutes to give their argument on why they think that it should be reversed. So that's pretty much all it is. During that time period, the judges do ask a lot of questions for clarification, or if they're not sure about something, or if they have like additional questions on the matter, like they'll ask, you know, whoever is giving their argument at that time. And that at that time they have to like, you know, stop and like they have to respond to the Supreme Court justice and explain it to them. So yeah, that's March 20th. That's what'll happen. So the state also, when they when they petitioned this review, which was back in like September, I want to say, they also petitioned an accelerated review. So what that said, it's like an expedited process. So that's what they were asking the Supreme Court for, was an expedited review, which is good for us because it means we don't really have to wait like an unknown amount of time. Like some people don't even have a clue when they'll be finding, you know, out a decision. But in this instance, we should find out within 60 to 90 days after the oral argument what that decision is. So like I said, they're going to either decide to reverse the decision of the appellate court, which is definitely what we don't want, or they're going to decide to like keep that decision. So it's pretty much the same thing that we were going through before. It's just a longer process, honestly. Like it's just like drawing it out longer and longer. So March 20th, and then 2 to 3 months later, that puts us between May 20th and June 20th to get a decision. And all 9 of them will vote. Actually, there were 9, but one of the Supreme Court justices was Kevin's old attorney. For like 8 years, she represented him and did his appeals and all of that. So she recused herself because, obviously she's like, nope, this is a conflict of interest. Like, I honestly like cannot make a judgment in this case because I know him and I've known him for a long time. So I figured that would happen as well. So it's kind of crazy now because it's like normally there's 8 judges. So there's always that one person to break a tie, right? In that instance. But in this case, there's going to be 8. So there's a big possibility, a large possibility that there will be a tie. And we're kind of basing that off of the Odell case, which is what our case is based off of. Odell won 5-4. And they had the same Supreme Court justices that they have in there now. So we're like, okay, they're probably going to have the same. This is like 3 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago when they voted on Odell. So they're probably going to have the same, votes, most likely. So if that's the case, since his old lawyer recused herself, it'll be like a 4-4 vote. But we found out that if there is a tie, it would actually go to him. So we would actually win if it was a tie. Thank God. So yes, that's pretty much like everything that we found out on Friday. One other thing is, and we've talked about this before, is an appellate bond. So a lot of people ask me, they're like, what is that? It's pretty much like when somebody goes to jail and say they give them like a bail, like say your bail is $50,000, you have to pay 10% of that. And that person, will be released until like either they're charged or there's a decision, that's made. So, through the appellate court, which is the one that said, hey, we want Kevin to be resentenced. Excuse me, I keep burping. Sorry guys. Through the appellate court, our lawyer this week, like he said, as soon as possible, he's going to be asking them for an appellate bond. So he's really going to be asking and saying, hey, you guys already decided that, to overturn his sentence, to have him resentenced. He's already done 15 years. He's not a flight risk. He comes from a good family. His family has stable jobs. He's going to be residing at this address. So, we're asking that you release him until his resentencing. So that's kind of exciting. I don't know, like I'm telling myself that it's not going to be granted just in case it isn't, because it's rare that they even ask for them. So yeah, there's that option. I mean, so there's a chance that they could grant him an appellate bond and he would be out from like now until when he's resentenced, which probably is going to be around, I'm guessing, July-ish, like summertime. So there's a big possibility he could be out for like 6 months, 7 months or something like that, however long. So I think that's all when it comes to all the court stuff. Other than that, since I talked to you guys last, let's see, I got a new job in Seattle. I interviewed for it. God, it was like 2 weeks ago, and it'll be 2 weeks ago on Tuesday. They called me about the job like right at like 10 minutes after I left. They called to offer me the job, which was awesome. And I actually started this last Monday. So I worked Monday through Thursday. Like 8 to 4:30, like normal banker hours. So it's like the first couple of weeks, it's pretty much training. Like I'm doing a lot of training stuff. I'm doing computer training. But pretty much like what my job is I'm working for the King County drug court system through a health, like a specific company. So I'm doing the same thing. I'm doing counseling, like it'll entail groups and doing assessments and one-on-ones and everything that I was doing before. It's just the clients that we're working with are all part of the drug court system in King County. So, and what that is like the judges are giving these people that have relapsed and gotten charges an additional chance to not go to prison. So they're like saying, if you do this drug court program for like 18 months, 24 months, whatever it is, and you complete it, like then you won't have to go to prison. But like say they start the program and then they relapse and they mess up, they get a dirty UA, they don't show up, anything like that, then unfortunately that's when, you know, they're going back to jail for 2 days, 10 days, and then eventually like they're going back and having to do like their full prison time. So I'm excited. Not only like the pay is really good, but so not only for the pay, but like I'm super excited for the job itself because I'm a prison reform activist and it's pretty much, this program is great. It's helping people stay out of prison that are addicts. So yeah, so it's kind of like it's a double win for me. I'm working, you know, with addicts to, you know, help them get sober and give them the tools to stay sober. And I'm also helping addicts stay out of prison, which I think like a large portion of them shouldn't be in prison because being incarcerated, if you're an addict, isn't doing anything from you. They're not putting you through any sort of, you know, legitimate like legitimate like counseling and treatment and stuff like that. I mean, there are some prisons that do have programs like that, but the majority of them don't. So yeah, so I just started that job on Monday. I'm relaxing it today, taking it easy today. And I am still at my mom's, which is an hour from Seattle. So I'm literally waking up at 5 a.m., going to the ferry, taking the ferry to Seattle, working, and then after work, take the ferry home. So I get up at 5 and I get home about 7 p.m. So it's a super long day. Thankfully, it's not going to be like a super long process, or a long commute, I guess, long process. I'm hoping school starts again. So school just ended as well, and it'll start again for me on the 8th. So I'm hoping like that weekend of the 8th, which is like 4 weeks from tomorrow, next week or whatever, that I will have a place, and I'm looking for a place like right close to my work, maybe like a couple miles from my work, but in a good area of Seattle. So that way I don't have to drive because parking is crazy in Seattle. The ferry commute is insanely crazy. I don't even want to go over that because it made me so mad how expensive it was. Yeah, so within a month, I am hoping to have a place out there, be able just to use the light rail or the bus system, not have to pay for parking, not have to pay for like any of that craziness. But it'll be nice. I'll be in the city. I haven't lived in the city in a really long time. Well, it's been like a while, probably like 3, almost 4 years since I lived in the city. I miss it. I grew up in the country. I've lived in the city. I've lived in LA and Chattanooga and Knoxville and Sacramento. I've lived in cities before. I totally like either one. I can go either way. Kevin is definitely a city person. So, yeah, that's one of the reasons like I wanted to move out there was because I know he's a city guy and like when he gets out, he'll definitely appreciate it. But, yeah, so new job, out of school for a month for winter break. I just finished the quarter on Friday and I got a 3.5 GPA. What? No, I did good. I got an A in my African history class and my cultural diversity class, and I got a B in my English class. So I did really good. I was super excited, and I was kind of nervous. I was nervous I was going to fail one of the classes, and I didn't even come close to failing. So Kevin keeps telling me, he's like, I don't know why you think you're so bad at school. He's like, you literally make the dean's list every quarter. And I said, I don't know. I don't know. I think it's my childhood and like just being a horrible student when I was younger, and I don't know, not having the greatest tutors when I was younger, like my brother telling me that I was not smart and all those things that you go through when you're a child. Yeah, so anyways, finished with school for now. Next quarter, I'm taking psychology, personality assessment, code, decoding disorders. So that's like a counseling class. And I'm taking physiology and pharmacology of drugs. So that will be fun. I can't wait. Kevin's going to take one of the classes with me. He's going to take the psych class with me. So that'll be fun for us to do together. But anyway, this video is at 14 minutes and 20 seconds, and I should totally end it right now before I bore everybody to death. If you guys have any questions about Kevin's court case, school work, like anything that I talked about or anything that I've been going through, go ahead and like post them down below in the, comment section there. You know what it's called. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and push the subscribe button so you can be part of the channel, and press that little the little bell icon so you're notified of all of the vlogs that I put out. Hopefully I'll be putting them out more often once I move and like everything kind of like slows down for me and goes back to normal. But yeah, everything, I mean, it's going pretty good. Still have the scar there from my surgery, so I have my second post-op appointment on Tuesday to do x-rays and make sure everything is normal. Still have pain from it, which sucks, but it's not as severe. Obviously, I'm able to work for 8 hours, so that's good. Still got the dogs. He's Odin. He's my little lap dog. But yeah, everything is good. I'm not one for the holidays, so no decorations up or anything like that. I always tell Kevin, I'm like, I like boycott the holidays until he comes home. I really do though. I feel like a total Scrooge doing it because I love Christmas and I love New Year's and I love 4th of July, but I don't know. I always get like kind of depressed around that time of the year. Well, around like any holiday because I see like, couples together like celebrating all the holidays and I'm just like, and that's not us. But anyways, if you guys are new, please subscribe. And if you like the video, please go ahead and give me a thumbs up. I definitely try my best with my life being as crazy as it is. But, I try to come on here just to update with you guys on court and stuff like that. And I would like to do a Q&A video. I don't think I've ever literally done one of those with you guys. So if you guys have questions, about being a prison wife, about being a drug and alcohol counselor, about having PTSD, anything that is related to me, or just personal questions that you have about me, I'm an open book. So go ahead and post those questions below, and I will do a Q&A video coming up. I might give it a few weeks just so we can rack up some questions to make it more of a lengthy video. And I'll actually ask in my prison wife support group as well, so that way I can get some questions from, some of the members in that group. If you guys are looking for a support group, if you are a prison girlfriend, prison wife, prison fiance, check out Secret Life of a Prison Wife on Facebook. Go ahead and try and add. And there's a couple of things that we do verify, just like we ask for a letter usually, or a picture from visiting, just to show that you are a legitimate prison girlfriend or prison wife and that you're not somebody that's just trying to sneak into the group to get information on somebody. There are people that do that though, but seriously, just got my nails done. I don't know if you guys can see it. It's super pretty, like this purple, like dark purple glittery color. And those that know me know that I am a fan of the purple. So yes, I'm loving it. Anyway, I'm going to cut this short. Obviously, I talk a lot because I was supposed to end this 3 minutes ago. I hope everybody has a great rest of their weekend. Enjoy your Sunday, whether you're watching Lifetime movies or going shopping or spending time with your kids or cleaning or cooking or whatever you're doing. I will talk to you guys later. Love you, beauties.